A 34-year-old man found dead inside a chest freezer of an empty home last month was on the run from authorities and likely jumped into the icebox to evade police, authorities said. On the 26th of June, Brandon Lee Bushman's body was recovered from the freezer in the basement of a vacant residence at 304 4th Avenue North in Biwabik, Minnesota. There was an outstanding warrant for Brandon's arrest, and police suspected he jumped into the freezer of his own accord to hide, but became trapped inside. An autopsy has since shown no evidence of trauma or injury to his body, and a toxicology report is pending. Investigators said the chest freezer is an older model with a latching mechanism on the outside of the freezer, and when closed, it's not capable of being pushed open from the inside. The freezer was not plugged into electricity because utilities in the home had been turned off since April of 2022, and the house had been vacant since February this year. Several witnesses familiar with Brandon's situation told investigators he was last seen running from the upstairs area of the house due to the possible police presence near the premises. Gilbert Police Lieutenant Chelsea Tricano said that the reports from the individuals were very unclear as to exactly when it was that Brandon had fled. They're continuing to work on some additional investigation to narrow if that means it was this year or last year, and will provide that information at a later date once it's narrowed to a better timeline. Police did not say what crime Brandon was wanted for. The investigation into the matter continues. Police are investigating after a 41-year-old man was found fatally shot. At around 9:45 p.m. on Saturday the 8th of July, authorities responded to the 1600 block of North Parkside Avenue in the Austin neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois, and reports of a person down. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the abdomen and back. The victim was unable to communicate as he was transported to the Loyola Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identified the victim as Anthony Jackson. No arrests have been made to date, and the motive in the attack remains unclear as the investigation into the matter continues. 27-year-old Raul Miller Jr. is behind bars for attacking a nurse with a tie iron. At around 3 a.m. on Thursday the 6th of July, a nurse who was on a break near a parking lot at the HCA Fort Walton Destin Hospital on Marwalt Drive in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, was ambushed by Raul. He beat her over the head 5 or 6 times with a tie iron, and the nurse managed to fight him off before calling for help. The nurse suffered critical lacerations and swelling to her head. The victim was able to describe her attacker to investigators, who found him riding a bike nearby. When deputies stopped Raul, they discovered a bloody tie iron in his bicycle basket, as well as a fresh bloodstain on his shirt. He was arrested and charged with attempted murder, and he's held at the Okaloosa County Jail on a $1 million bond. The investigation into the matter continues. 35-year-old Daniel Birch is behind bars after a woman's body was found in a lake. At around 2:30 p.m. on Thursday the 6th of July, a driver from Fairway Drive in Grapevine, Texas reported to police that a passenger thought he saw a body floating near the spillway of a dam in Grapevine Lake. Officers responded to the scene and recovered a woman's body and found 2 gunshot wounds to her head and 2 more to her chest. The next day, authorities identified the victim as Jennifer Holmes of Louisville. Upon further investigation, detectives identified Daniel Birch as a suspect. The two reportedly lived together and were close friends. She'd been staying with Daniel because she lost her home in a fire. During an interview, Daniel told detectives that Jennifer came home at around 11 p.m. on the 4th of July after drinking down the street with neighbours. He said Jennifer was causing problems, so in the early morning hours of the 5th of July, he drove her to Grapevine Lake in hopes of calming her down, but instead she started screaming and throwing things inside the car. He then pulled over on Fairway Drive, and Jennifer jumped out of the car. He said he also got out of the car while holding his handgun. He claimed that Jennifer shoved him, so he shot her multiple times before dumping her body in the lake. A witness reported hearing gunshots at just after 2:30 a.m. that morning in the Grapevine Lake spillway area. Police reportedly found several bullet casings around the lake which matched the caliber of Daniel's handgun. The gun, along with Jennifer's cell phone, was found in Daniel's car. Daniel was arrested and charged with murder, and he remains held at the Tarrant County Jail on a $150,000 bond. The investigation into the matter continues. A man is wanted by police after assaulting a 27-year-old female aged care worker. The incident occurred at around 7:30 a.m. on Thursday the 6th of July at a retirement village along Wells Road in Aspendale Gardens, Melbourne, Australia. Police said they believe the man entered the building looking for items to steal. He walked upstairs to a bin room, where the woman followed him. He then grabbed her by her upper arms before punching her several times to the head and upper body area. The man then fled the facility, leaving the woman traumatized with bruises and scratches. Police have released CCTV footage and photos of the man, who's perceived to be Asian in appearance and aged in his late 20s. Police have urged anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers